Hello and welcome back. You know where I am now. So there was only one place to come today for today's talk, and that was here. This is normally in full flow, but with the weather we've had recently, it's but a trickle. And today's message is hydration just may be your salvation. Now then, water is obviously very, very important to us. The human body can't last very long without fresh supplies of water. We can go a long time without food, and we've spoke about that in fairly recent messages about how good our bodies are at storing fat, and that's a survival mechanism to keep us alive in lean times. It's evolved over time. But if we're faced with a shortage of water, we don't do very well for very long. And that's because most of us, adults anyway, are about 60% water. I know, you'd think we'd just be a puddle on the floor really, and you'd wonder how we stand up. So big percentage of our body is formed of water, and if you think about it, water is critical to the formation of blood. Our kidneys use a lot of water in the removal of waste products. It even helps to lubricate our joints, it's key in that process, and also lubricating our eyes. Our digestive system needs plenty of water to function efficiently, and our skin health is also very important to us, and important that we keep well hydrated. And you'll know what it's like if you get dehydrated. You end up with skin like me, you see. So I need to drink a bit more. And when we're a bit younger, we are higher percentage water, and we become less and less as we get older. But most of us probably 55–60%, anyway, the guys that are listening to this at the minute. Now, if we become a bit dehydrated, what sort of symptoms are we looking at? Well, we may lose concentration and focus with dry skin. We often get a bit faint and dizzy, and we suffer from fatigue. And it can affect our mouth as well. We end up with quite a dry mouth, and that thirst, that feeling that we're thirsty, by the time that's happened, we're already dehydrated. So your thirst mechanism doesn't really keep up with what you need. By the time you get there, you're already dehydrated. So it's a bit slow out of the blocks, the thirst mechanism. We need water to be going in on a regular basis, and try to avoid that. So, and if you're in a dehydrated state for a long period of time, then you're more prone to things like urinary tract infections, and digestive disorders, so things like constipation. So how much do we need? Well, it varies quite a bit. Depends on what expert you listen to, but it seems to be somewhere around 1.2 to 2 litres a day. Now, when you look at advice on this, that often refers to 6 to 8 drinks a day. What they're working on is that an average mug would be about 200 millilitres. Well, before I came out today, I had a look at my sort of average mugs, and they're about 300 millilitres actually. 200 ml is quite a small mug, so standard size tea, coffee mug, we're probably more looking at 5 to 6 drinks a day at least. But obviously that's dependent on what you're doing as well. So if you're out in a really hot day, I wouldn't say it's really hot, but it's a nice day today, then you'll be losing more water through sweat. So our blood, as we've already said, has got quite a lot of water in it, and when we get warm, to regulate our body temperature, we push fluid out of our bloodstream onto the skin, and then as that evaporates, it takes heat away. So it's how we regulate our temperature. And if you're outside gardening at the minute, or like me, out on the bike, or out for a walk on a hot day, then you're going to need more water going in. So just be aware of that, and maybe throw in an extra cup or so. Now, if you're in a position where you're doing more exercise on a regular basis, especially outdoors, then again you may want to throw in a bit more water as well. Or if you're in a hot room in the house, be aware you're going to be sweating a lot more, and we need to think about replacing that fluid. A good way to tell whether you're dehydrated actually is in the colour of your pee, believe it or not. So what we're looking for is a sort of pale straw colour, and that's you normally fairly well hydrated. When it starts to become a bit darker, then that's a signal that you're probably on the way to dehydration. So what counts as fluid intake? Water from the tap, best thing, but also fruit juices. Just be careful with the sugar levels. Remember, a portion of fruit in terms of fruit juice is 150 ml. So that's one of the little tiny glasses you would get, say, at a buffet in a hotel. Small glass, not that much. And obviously if we've taken fluid in the form of sugary drinks, we're putting in a lot of extra calories. So best way is just water from the tap. Absolutely nothing wrong with that as well. But also cups of tea, cups of coffee. Caffeine does have a diuretic effect. It pushes water out of us, but actually that's counterbalanced by the amount of fluid you're having in the tea and the coffee. Just remember, it's the caffeine that's the bigger issue, especially if we get later in the day, and that can start affecting our sleep patterns. So water is best, to be honest with you. And also just have a water bottle near you at all times, especially if you're out in the garden. We tend to do maybe a few extra hours. I know what you guys are like. You go out, you get started, you're there all day. So maybe take a water bottle out with you. Certainly if you go out walking, it might be handy to have a water bottle with you in a little rucksack. Or if you're out on the bike, obviously, you've got the water bottle holders. It's easy for me to say. And keep that going in all the time. Because we can't just rehydrate at the end of the day by drinking 2 litres of water. It needs to be going in slow and regular. We can only absorb so much at one time. It's the same with nutrients coming into our body. We can only absorb so much at any one time. So we need a slow, steady entry of nutrients into our body, and we need a slow, steady entry of fluid into our body as well. So that's today's message from Mull. Hope that's helpful. As always, if you're on YouTube watching this, give us a subscribe and look after yourselves, and hope you're having a great day, and I'll catch up with you tomorrow. Stay safe, guys. Bye bye.